So today we're going to be doing an activity, and if you see my yoga mat out, you might be able to guess that we're going to be doing yoga. But we're not going to be doing regular yoga, we're going to be doing animal yoga. So that means we're going to be moving our bodies in different ways that we can pretend to be animals from all over the ocean and on land. And we're also going to be stretching out our bodies and breathing and just making ourselves feel good. So if you're not familiar with yoga, if you've never done it before, that's okay, because we're going to be going slow and I'm going to be explaining the movements, and we're going to be having some fun while we're doing it because we're going to learn different facts about some of the different animals, and then I'm going to throw in some trivia so that you can quiz yourself about some of the things that you've learned about the animals. So when we do yoga, our breathing is a little different from just our normal breath, because when we're breathing just like I am now, you don't really focus too much on your breath, right? So I don't really notice I'm breathing right now, I'm talking to you guys, and my breath is just happening. It's just coming out of my body and I don't really think about it. But when we do yoga, we really try to focus on our breathing. So we're going to be talking a little bit about how to do that deep breathing that we do in yoga. So first, I just want you to sit normally, and you can sit in any way. I'm sitting on my knees, but you can also sit with your legs in crisscross applesauce, or any way you want to sit. And I just want you to take a second and don't change your breathing, just breathe normally. So that's just my normal breathing, and I didn't change anything about it. But now what we're going to do is we're going to focus on deep breathing. So that's the kind of breathing we do during yoga, and you can also do it whenever you need to relax. So we're going to practice that, and if you already know how to do it, you can practice it with us. So what you're going to do when you take a deep breath is you're going to try to think of your tummy as a balloon. So you want your balloon to blow up really big. So what you're going to do is breathe in through your nose, and you're going to try to fill up that balloon in your tummy. So you can put your hands on your tummy right here, and when you breathe in, try to feel if you can feel your tummy rise with your breath. So breathe in through your nose. And then when you breathe out, what we're going to do is think of getting all of that air out of our tummy. So you're blowing it all out through your mouth. So you should, if you put your hands on your tummy, you should feel that your tummy goes back down because all of the air is going out of it. So let's try that. So you breathe in through our nose and out through our mouth. And my tummy went up and then back down. So again, you can do that whenever you're stressed or whenever you're frustrated about something. It calms your body down. So the reason we do that during yoga is because yoga is also a way to calm our body down. Okay, so for our first animal today, all you need for any of the animals is just your own body and a little bit of space to move. So you don't need to be on a mat on the floor like I am. You just have to be you can do it in a bed or a chair, and for any of the activities where we're standing, or any of the activities at all, I'm going to be giving some different ways that you can do it. So I'm going to be doing the typical way, and then how you can do it if you want to do your yoga in a bed or in a chair. So there's going to be a lot of different ways you can do it, so anyone can participate, and all you really need is your body. We're going to start off with our first animal today, and our first animal, we're going to start with some trivia to figure it out. So I'm going to give different clues, and then if you think that you know what the answer is, you can just yell it out, okay? And I'm going to give a series of clues and see if maybe you can guess it before I give the final answer. And then we're going to move into that pose and learn some fun facts. So our first clue for our first animal is that this animal lives in the ocean. And if you already guessed it, wow, because there are a lot of animals that live in the ocean. So I'm going to move on to our second clue. Our second clue is that this animal can come in all different shapes and sizes. So some are really big and some are so tiny that you can't even see it just when you look at it. It's so tiny. So that's our second clue. Our third clue is that sometimes this animal can be translucent. So what translucent means is that you can see through them. So it's like if you look at something and it's clear so you can see through it. And so this animal can sometimes be translucent, which I think is so cool. Did you guess it yet? If not, that's okay, I wouldn't have either. Our last clue is that this animal has tentacles that can sting. You think you guessed it? Our animal, our first one, is going to be a jellyfish. So I've never actually seen a jellyfish in person, but I think it would be really cool. I won't go near it though, because jellyfish, like I said in our last clue, can sting. So you don't really want to go near jellyfish because their tentacles that they have can sting people. But this kind of animal was kind of a hard one to start off with because it can come in all different shapes and sizes. But we're going to go ahead and go into our jellyfish pose. So what we're going to do, I'm going to have to fix my camera a little bit to go up. So what we're going to do for our jellyfish pose is our arms are going to be like our tentacles. Our arms and our legs are going to be like our jellyfish tentacles. So we have our arms and our legs as our jellyfish tentacles. What we're going to do is make our feet kind of apart like I am, not too far apart, way up here. But if you bring them in like this, and then we're going to bend forward like we're reaching for our toes. But you don't have to reach all the way to your toes. So see how I'm kind of just letting my arms hang like this? So we're going to have, you can have your knees bent a little bit, and then put your arms down, but we're not going to reach all the way for our toes. We're just going to let our arms hang so that we can move our arms like a jellyfish. So we're going to have it here. If you're sitting in a bed or a chair, what you can do is just sit like this, and we're going to put our feet out in front of us, which I don't think you can see my legs right now, but my feet are out in front of me. And then we're going to hold our arms out like we're reaching for our toes, but don't reach all the way for them. So we're just going to reach them out like this. And then once you get in either this pose or the standing one, we're going to move our arms back and forth like we're going through the ocean as a jellyfish. So we have our legs and our arms moving around through the ocean like a jellyfish. And if you're standing, we're doing it just like this. Back up a little bit so you can see. So we're just going to do this pose, and remember we're going to do a deep breathing, so take a couple deep breaths. All right, that one felt good. Stretched out my back a lot, which I really like. So our next animal today, I'm really excited about because I love this animal. Our first clue is going to be that they are the second biggest animal on land. So they're not the first biggest animal that's on land, but they're the second. So try to think in your head of animals that might be the second biggest on land. So our second clue is that they are really good swimmers. So they're not always in the water, but they are very good swimmers when they are. And they're such good swimmers that they can actually hold their breath underwater for 5 minutes. Which I think is crazy because I cannot hold my breath underwater that long. Our next clue is that they hunt at night. So they like to be out at night, and that's when they go and find food. My last clue is that you won't find them in the United States, so they don't float around here. I would be very surprised if you saw one around here. They mostly live in Africa. So I've never been to Africa. So I've never seen one, but I'd love to go and see one of these. Do you know what it is? This one's kind of hard. So this one's a hippopotamus. So I'd love to see a hippopotamus because first of all, I think the name is so fun to say. And second of all, they look just so big and cool. But I've never seen one because I've never been to Africa. So we're going to go ahead and go into our hippo pose. And our hippo pose is going to be down on the ground. So if you see, how I'm sitting on my knees. We're going to be sitting on our knees and we're going to fold our tummy over to lay on top of our knees, like this. And you can lay your head on the ground too. Your forehead right here can lay on the ground. And then after this, you're going to stretch out your arms just like this. And they're going to stretch out in front of you. So we're still on our knees and our arms are going to stretch out in front of us. And if you're in a bed or a chair and you can't do that, we're going to just sit with our legs out in front of us. Or you can sit with your legs crossed like this. And we're going to bend our tummy over to our legs and reach our arms out. Just like this. So we're going to go ahead and start our clues for our next pose. So our next animal is kind of like an animal that you might have as a pet in your house. It's not a pet that you would have in your house, but it's kind of similar to one. They're in the same family. So my second clue is that they are also good swimmers. And it might not seem like it when you figure out what the animal is, but they are really good swimmers. Our next clue is that they have stripes, and their stripes are kind of like our fingerprints. So our fingerprints have special lines on them that tell people exactly who we are. So each person on Earth has different fingerprints so that we can tell different people just by their fingerprints. And this animal has stripes, and all different stripes are different. So all different types of this animal, I keep trying to tell you about it without saying what the animal is. All different stripes on these animals are different, and so it's kind of like our fingerprints, and we can tell these animals apart, each individual one, by their stripes. So if you haven't guessed it yet, this animal for our next pose is a tiger. So if you do yoga, normally this is called a cat pose. But now we're going to call it a tiger pose, which is very similar because, like I said, tigers are actually in the same family as a pet cat that you might have at home. They're just a lot bigger, right? Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go on our hands and knees. And we're going to lift this part of our back up. Here, I'll point to it for you. So we're going to lift this part of our back up. Kind of like when cats get angry, they lift up. So your shoulders are going to kind of go to your ears, and your back is going to go up, and your head is going to go down, like this. So see, my shoulders are to my ears, my back is up, and I'm on my hands and knees. And if you're sitting on a bed or a chair, you can sit cross-legged again, and you can put your hands on your knees, and you can put your shoulders up to your ears, roll your back over, and look down. Okay, so we're going to start our clues for our next pose. So our next animal that we're doing is the tallest land animal. And some of you might get that just from that clue. So they're really tall. You might see them in zoos sometime. That was a little bonus clue. So our next clue is that they only eat plants. So they especially like to eat from trees. My next clue is that they have long tongues that they like to use to get leaves from trees. You know what this animal is yet? It's a giraffe. So, like I said, they're the tallest land animal, and they like to eat from trees. If you've ever seen them in zoos or maybe on TV or a movie, they reach their really long necks up and they grab from trees, the leaves. And some more fun facts is that giraffes like to roam around in groups. So they don't roam around alone, they go around in groups. And they actually sleep standing up, which I think sounds so hard. I can't sleep standing up. But giraffes like to do it. So we're going to go ahead and do our pose. So for this pose, You won't be able to see my full body for this. But for this pose, we're gonna stand up and we're gonna have our feet kind of like we did for our first jellyfish pose. And we're gonna reach our arms all the way up and we're gonna look up at our arms. We're gonna stretch to the side like we're a big tall giraffe and keep your neck very long like you're reaching up to eat some leaves from those trees. And reach up, and if you're sitting in a chair or a bed, we're going to have our legs right out in front of us. We're going to reach up and we're going to look up at our fingers like we're reaching for those big tall trees to eat those leaves. So we're going to take 3 deep breaths here. All right, so we move on to our next pose. Our first clue for our next animal is going to be that these animals can be all different colors. Kind of like our jellyfish, these animals can be a bunch of different colors and they can fly. But this clue might give it away to you. They can't always fly, so when they're babies, they start off as something called a caterpillar. So that should maybe give it away to you. But our next pose is going to be a butterfly. So butterflies start off as caterpillars, which I think is so crazy that they start off as these things that crawl around on the ground, and then when they get older, they make a cocoon, and they become these big, beautiful butterflies, right? So we're going to put our feet for our butterfly pose. We're going to stick them together, like this. We're going to stick them together and put them on the floor. So this kind of gets our knees up in the air. So next what we have to do is we have to fly our knees like they're our wings. So we're going to fly like this. And if you've ever taken dance or gymnastics, you might have done this in dance or gymnastics because it stretches out your muscles right here. So you can fly your wings, fly, fly, fly. And the good thing about this one is you can do this in a bed or a chair too. So we're going to fly, 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 fly for our butterfly pose. All right, so our next pose might be our hardest one yet. So for our next animal, the first clue that we're going to do is that they can run on water before they take off to fly. So they run on the water and then they take off into the sky to fly. That's how they get to fly. And they can run on water because they have webbed feet. So they have connected toes, so their feet are webbed, and that makes them be able to run on water, which I can do because that I wish I could do. I can't do it. I wish I could do because that sounds so cool. So our next clue is that they balance on one leg. So when they're standing in the water, they'll put one leg up and balance on that. And my third clue is that they're pink. They don't start off pink, they start off when they're babies as white, but when they grow older, they become pink. Do you know what it is? It's a flamingo. So, since they stand on one leg, we're going to be like flamingos, and we're going to have either this leg or this leg down on the ground, whichever one you want to do. And this one's kind of hard, so if you want to hold on to a wall or something, you can do that. So we're going to put one leg up onto our knee. So it's going to be on your knee there, and you can hold on to something if you need to. And then if you want to, you can let go and you can put your hands in front of you like this. And see, we're on one leg for a flamingo, but you can just stay holding on to something if you want. And if you're sitting, what we're going to do is put one leg out, and we're going to bend the other leg and put it up by our knee. Just like that. And you can put your hands here. Alright, so we're gonna, in our flamingo pose, and either hold on to something, or come here, take our 3 deep breaths. Alright, good job. So, our next animal might give it away pretty easy. Our first clue is that you might have one at your home. So this is a really common pet to have, and I have one at my home. This is one of my favorite animals. That doesn't really help you as a clue because you don't know me very well. But this is one of my favorite animals. And there are so many of these different types of animals. And if you didn't guess it yet, it's a dog. So some of you might have dogs at home, and you know that there are many different types of dogs. So for our dog pose, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be on our feet this time, but not all the way up. We're going to have our hands on the floor and our feet on the floor, and we're going to lift up so that our hands and our feet are down, but everything else is up in the air. And your head can look back at your feet. So we're going to take 3 deep breaths here. Oh, I forgot to tell you, if you're on a bed or a chair, you can put your feet up like this and put your arms out and drop your head down. So you can use this for your dog pose. So we're going to take 3 deep breaths. Okay, so our next animal is one of my other favorite animals. So this animal likes to live in groups and they get lonely if they're not around other animals like them. Our second clue is that when they get really excited, and you might not know this about this animal, if they get really excited, they do something called a binky. And what that means is that they'll either run around really fast or they'll run and do some jumps or flips in the air when they get really excited. And I used to have this kind of animal as a pet, and it was so cute when they would binky because they get so excited and they jump and do flips and they run around, and it's really cute to watch. So if you haven't guessed this one yet, which those were pretty hard clues, so you might not have, it's a bunny. So I used to have 2 bunnies as pets. And they were so fun and cute and cuddly, and I loved when they would get excited because they do that little binky and they flip and jump. So for our bunny pose, it's going to be kind of similar to some other ones we did. So we're going to be on our knees, and we're going to put our head to the floor, and our arms are going to go back by our feet. So we're curled up in a little pose. But then we're going to take our arms, if you want, and put them up behind you. So if you can't do this, that's okay. We can just keep them down here. But if you want to, you can put your arms up like you have some bunny ears here. Okay? And if you'd like to, you can also just have your legs crossed again. Put your forehead down and put your arms back, like you have your bunny ears, okay? So we're gonna take 3 deep breaths. All right, so we are going to do one last pose. And this animal does not, our first clue is that they do not chew their food. So they swallow their food whole, which is not something that we can do as humans. We have to chew our food up before we swallow it, right? So this animal doesn't have to do that. This animal also, they flick their tongue out in the air to pick up scents in the air so they can smell the air through their tongue. So they flick their tongue out to look at everything and get scents in the air. Our third clue is that they don't have legs, so they slither around. That might have given it away, but our last animal is going to be a snake. So specifically, we're going to do the cobra pose, which a cobra is a type of snake. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay down on our tummies. We're going to put our hands right by our shoulders. You know where your shoulders are? So they're going to go right next to your body, and then you're gonna lift up your head, okay? So my hands are on the floor, my feet are back here. If you can see them, they're straight out, and you're gonna just lift up, and you can look up if you want. And you can do this one in the bed or a chair too. Just lift up, take 3 deep breaths. So I like that one because it really stretches out your back. Alright, so those are all of our animals for today. So you can do those animal poses whenever you need a stretch. Some of them are really good to stretch out your back, like that last cobra one we did, or snake pose, or even just if you need to relax your body, you can do some of those poses like where we're down and our head's on the floor and we're reaching out, and take those deep breaths, and those help to just calm down our bodies. So that's our animal yoga for today with a little trivia mixed in there. So you learn some fun facts about animals that you can share with all of your family and friends. And I had a lot of fun today doing some of those poses. So thank you for doing this activity with me. And I'm excited to do more activities with you in the future. So thank you for watching, and try to do some of those animal poses at home and maybe quiz some of your family on some fun animal facts. So thank you for watching. Bye guys.